Hey, this is Ryan Hensler here with Pittsburgh Music Scene. I'm here tonight with my friend Jesus Adida. We're here doing some interviews, and tonight we have Black Anvil, Ghoul, and Skeletonwitch. And I'm standing here with...
You're standing here with Scott, one of the guitarists in Skeletonwitch.
There you have it. So, the new album came out this year, and there's a lot of hype, I believe, behind that album because of what Abomination brought to the table.
Yeah, I think Forever Abomination really helped sort of set the stage, I guess, for Serpents Unleashed. And you know, Prosthetic Records, our label, I got to give them props. Thanks, guys. They did a really good job getting the word out, getting interviews, getting press and stuff like that, which is really killer. And that can really kill a record if your label doesn't care about you. It could be a fantastic record, but if no one knows about it and no one spreads the word, you're kind of dead in the water. So yeah, the previous record, you know, all the touring we did and Prosthetics Help all sort of really came together this time and really made a much bigger impact, I think.
Yeah, because I feel like there was a huge push and just a huge backing behind this album. No disrespect to Abomination, believe me, it's an amazing album.
No,
I spent $100 in merch at the Altar Bar when I seen you guys there.
Oh shit, you were there.
I was there. I bought my wife, who is more of the black metal, death metal, thrash. I'm more of the hardcore. I grew up in the hardcore scene.
Yeah.
But when we went there, we bought 2 Skeletonwitch glasses with the pentagrams. She bought me the Eat Some Fucking Pussy shirt. You know, so it was
infamous,
like, yes. I can't wear it many places.
No, not many people
because I'm told
can.
to leave or cover it up.
Yeah.
So I've been following your band a lot, and it just seems like this time there's a lot behind this than what there was before, and I'm impressed with that alone.
Well, thank you.
You know.
Yeah, I do feel things sort of going to that next level. What that is, I don't know. But I mean, the shows get a little bit bigger, the press gets a little more far-reaching, we get more offers to go to places we've never been before. And like, we just got an offer, it didn't work out timing-wise, but for South Africa. Like, never thought that was going to happen. Unfortunately, we can't do it because we're already going to be doing something else, but like you're saying, like, you know, things are getting a little bit bigger and moving in a certain direction, and for whatever reason, but you know, we try not to think about it too much and just try to make the best decisions we can and work as hard as we can, and then go from that. And then, like, if things get, you know, go in a certain way, great. If they don't, well, we'll just keep trying. You know?
So pretty much like how this interview is, it's impromptu. You don't see I have any questions, anything like that. I do my homework. I come to talk to you guys. Pretty much, it seems like you guys are just kind of impromptu, going with the flow.
Yeah.
Try to set it up. If it works, it works. If not, we're going to go do something else, and hopefully that'll push us in another direction as well.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be good on your feet and just, you know, make the best decisions you can and just keep, you know, we have very much a Midwest like work ethic to us. You know, we've all worked really shitty jobs growing up. Oh, we worked in factories, farms, all the classic Midwest stuff. And yeah, totally. And so we know how much it sucks to not be doing this and doing something else. So we want to keep doing this. So
see, I'm from West Virginia.
Oh shit.
You know, you guys are from Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, so I get that because when I was very young, at a young age, I remember I had to hitchhike to my first show. My first show was you'll never believe it. 12 years old. Imagine 6 12-year-old kids hitchhiking to Pittsburgh.
Holy shit.
Basically walking, because no one's going to pick a bunch of kids up that are 12 years old.
Not anybody right? Want to pick them up.
Not anybody you really want to, right? You know. But I'll give you one guess. Who do you think it was? 1987.
Is it metal or is it
metal?
Slayer.
It changed
Slayer.
More on a kind of like
Maiden?
Power metal. Close.
Priest? Power.
I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
The opener was Twisted Sister.
Oh, sweet.
Headliner was Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, man.
It changed my life.
I believe it. Totally.
You know what I mean? So, from that day on, I've never listened to much more outside of the metal genre.
Yep.
And when it comes to your band, what I want to get back to, I don't want to get too off track, is what I believe your band is doing here for a lot of bands in the States is you guys are able to take death metal, thrash metal, and black metal and meld it all together. And ever since Abomination hit, I've seen a lot more of this trend going around, but I believe you guys have paved the way for a lot more bands. Now, I know a lot of bands are very down to earth. They don't have egos. I can tell you don't have an ego. That's great.
Definitely not.
You know, but don't you think that your band has probably done something to help other bands along that would fit maybe in that genre?
Maybe. I hope so. I hope people, I hope it's, I guess, imitation is what do they say, the sincerest form of flattery.
Yes.
So if that is the case, that's great. We've always sort of just felt like, or thought rather, why don't more bands mix stuff up a little bit more? Why is everyone so like content to just be like, hey, we're going to be this thrash band that will not veer, we'll stay between the lines of thrash. We're going to pretend it's 1980 whatever still, dress the part, and look like those bands back in the day, which in some ways is cool and it's retro and I get it. But in other ways, I feel like take what those guys already did and add to it. Don't just try to just recreate it, because a lot of those guys are still doing that.
Yes.
They're still there, and they're still doing it better than you are, young kids. So why don't you learn from them and try to add to it? So more than anything, we were just sort of surprised that people don't just take cues from a lot of different areas of heavy music instead of just one single area, and just sort of make themselves stay in that spot. So if it's influenced people though, us doing that, like cool, mixing styles, because it's just more fun that way. Like I guess we must have like musical ADD. We just, if you notice, our riffs change a lot. Like there's a lot of riffs in each song, and in some songs, a lot of our early stuff, especially, they don't repeat. You'll hear a riff once,
yes,
never comes back.
Yes.
And I guess we just have ADD, so we just like keep throwing more stuff in there. It's what makes sense for us, what we like.
And what I like so much about your band is not only, of course, the thrash parts, the leads and stuff like that, but I'm very, very rhythm influenced, and the rhythm section is just so tight.
Oh, man.
I mean, the blast beats, the double bass, the bass player, it's like everything works in unison so well, you can't even really hear, certain things, you know what I mean, unless you're a musician and you're trained to hear things like that.
Yeah.
It's just, the band is so tight and all in unison at once for the type of genre you play. Because when you hear a lot of black, death metal bands, whatever it may be, they're not very, very, very tight.
They're not known usually for it.
Yes, Skeletonwitch, for me, is a band that is a constant unison as one. And that's how I feel about
I
Skeletonwitch.
never heard that before. Thank you. I appreciate that. We've been doing it together for a while, and we're all definitely on the same page. We do sync up pretty well. So yeah, there's something to that. And Evan and Dustin, our drummer and bass player, those guys are ridiculous. They're monsters, and they lock in together really, really well. And that foundation really sets the stage for Nate and I to get a little more wild on the guitars, because those guys are holding it down so hardcore. And Evan's all over the place. He does definitely does like a Steve Harris or more like rock and roll style of bass playing, where he's not just holding down the root note, he's all over the neck.
He's all over the neck.
Yeah, he's a real wild man on the bass, but so that it adds such another dimension to it that's, I guess, I'm just going off topic.
No, I want you to.
A lot of metal bands don't put bass in their mix very prominently.
No.
And that's one thing that we always have wanted to do and have done, especially on the last record, Serpents Unleashed. Evan's really prominent in the mix, and we wanted that because he's such a killer bass player. We have the bass player, let's let people hear it and not just bury him in the mix.
Because for how many years, let's just take it to the Kings as far as everyone's basically concerned in the world. Slayer. How many years did you not hear Tom Araya?
I don't know if I've ever heard him.
The only time I ever heard him
is
basically when they went and did Diablos. When they did Diablos, you could hear Tom. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean about, like, your band, I believe, has brought this level of progression so high and so distinctively that if you can't do it like them, don't do it. and I'm not saying that to kiss your ass or anything. That's what I believe. I don't say anything just to say it. I don't say it because it's being filmed. I say it because that's what I feel and that's what I believe.
Thank
I
you.
think it sounds like shit, I'll say it sounds like
Yeah.
shit.
Sure.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm saying, when you listen to a band who has black metal influences, death metal influences, thrash, regular metal, rock and roll, blues, whatever it may be, if you can't bring that into unison, you can't do it. And
No.
Skeletonwitch does it better than anyone that I've ever heard play live.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
You're so welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Now, I don't want to keep you, but I got just a couple more if you
Sure.
don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all.
What were your influences?
I listen to a lot of different styles of music and not just metal, but some of the most definitive ones, you know, during my formative teen years and stuff. It started out with MC5, Alice Cooper, Iggy Pop and the Stooges, a lot of rock and roll stuff like that, and even some more modern, at the time, modern rock and roll influences, like a band called the Helicopters from Sweden is one of my favorite more modern rock and roll bands. And then from there, it went into like the more obvious metal stuff like Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera. You know, I grew up in the sticks, and all I had was radio until I had a license and I could drive to a record store. And I remember before we finally got dial-up internet. There were years where we had no internet. Believe that, kids. And then when we did, it was dial-up, and it was crap, and there was nothing online. You couldn't, you know, I'm like a dinosaur now to young people, but you know, so I had to just go to the record store when I could either beg for a ride, my parents would take me, or once I turned 16, I could drive. So I was at the mercy of like the radio. So when I finally started listening to like more extreme stuff, it was you know, Anthrax, Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica, Priest, all that kind of stuff. So that was what was there. And then it evolved into like when I went to the record store and I could get things like Immortal or you know.
With Tank.
Yeah, well they weren't around then.
Well,
yes, but yeah. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Emperor was one, you know, when I was in high school. But
Mayhem.
first it scared the hell out of me. Then a couple of weeks later I listened to it again and was like, this is great. And it just sort of clicked. Yeah, Mayhem.
And when did you say to yourself, I want to play?
Probably when my brother took me to see Slayer when I was 15 for my birthday. And even though
What a great birthday gift.
it was an awesome birthday. My brother rules. He's the classic cool older brother that like turned me on to all kinds of bands and took me to my first show and many other shows after that. And after that I was like, I want to do what they're doing. And I started playing guitar and just like haven't really looked back.
That's awesome. It really is. Well, look, I want to thank you for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
so
your time.
much. Thanks to Jesus for videotaping this. Skeletonwitch, check them out. They will fucking destroy you.
Cheers.